It's Naeem. I'm gonna be a bit more brave and do it even slightly more public, but it's gonna be in my neighborhood still. Okay, so day 47, I believe. I'm gonna keep it short because I swear down, I love Juice. Juice WRLD. He's my favorite artist. I've been listening to him for years. Unfortunately, he passed away. The story is, he's a bit. The cops basically were waiting for him, and he was smuggling drugs on a private jet or whatever. Anyway, I think day 47 is going to be somewhat similar to yesterday. In what way are you different to the people closest to you? I mean, relevant to what I said a couple of days ago, I believe that some people are a bit, I would say, close-minded. Not to say that I'm always open-minded, but I'm more willing, maybe it's because of my philosophical background, that I'm more willing to change my mind and be more convinced that I'm possibly wrong, whereas other people are just assume they're right, and I can't handle people like that, because I mean, there has to be some level of humility. There has to be some level of, maybe you can change my mind. Maybe my mind can be changed. If someone doesn't have that foundation, I don't know what to do, because it's like, even on a political level, on a deeper, not just one-to-one personal, I mean on a mass scale, how do you cope with people like that? You need people who are willing, not necessarily to change their mind, but at least to have that possibility of having their mind change. It's always possible, epistemically, for me to be wrong. Of course, that leads to some level paradox or whatever, but I mean, it's possible. And if you have that possibility, then it makes it far more interesting and far more intellectually honest. And I think we should also push that barrier, not just intellectually, but also personally as well. Like having your mind, emotion changed, and allow experiences. So I guess, to be a bit more direct to the question, I'm different in the sense that I'm a bit more willing to accept that I'm wrong, whereas some people are, it might be an aggressive way of putting it, but belligerent. Also, I tend to be a bit of a loner, but I like it. I like being a loner sometimes, Not all the time. Kind of like yesterday, I just saw Carlos describe me as a chill social. So I'm social, but just in a more chill way. But yeah, I would describe myself as introvert is not the right word, because, well, maybe, like when I have dinner with my family, like I don't really speak much, but it's not that I'm not engaged in the conversation, dinner party conversation. I'm just more a listener. I listen to people. I can't help it. But yeah, I fundamentally think it's my philosophical mind to be a bit more, I don't want to jerk myself too much, but like a bit more open with who I am and try things. Like, it's I'm not going to say there's no things that I'm entirely willing open to do, but I'm like, in the future, I think it's conceivable that I will allow it to be, I will allow it to happen. Like, I just can't imagine myself to be that close-minded, to listen to new things, to experience new things, to find new friends, to be open to liking someone that I wouldn't necessarily like. This is what confuses me as well. Like, girls a lot of the time would like find excuses to like find ways to not be with you. Like, they would put up that fence and like find, much like an employer would look and seek ways to not hire you. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like, you don't look, you're not the type I would go for, or your dress sense, or like, so I mean, you kind of have to like see, give it a go, and like then see. It's bizarre, like, yeah, it just I find it incredible that I'm stunned. I'm not even just saying that to like tick anyone off. It's just I'm actually stunned at the human psychology. But then again, it is human psychology. We do it because of ignorance, and much like people kind of don't like the skin color of other people or whatever. It's not because they're terrible people. I think it's fundamentally because they have ignorance and fear. These are the two psychological factors that motivate people to feel that way. You're less likely to have racist people if you're mixed. Most racist people are only racist because, like, you've segregated from them. In fact, you don't live with them. Much like a lot of people would sort of say, no, I'm not doing this, only because, like, you set up that barrier in the first place. Like, if you've tried it and then I tried it, I didn't. That's so much more humbler and easier to accept. But it just like my dad, he's just got that mindset, and it's just like staggering how you can be like that. I mean, I still care about him, but like, he's got views that he'll be hypocritical and would never dare challenge those theories. So you have those views and you're never gonna put them to the test. I can't handle people like that. So I guess it makes me different in the sense, again, not to like jerk myself off, because I am susceptible to those biases, and I'm as equally biased and arrogant sometimes. But a lot of the time I reflect on it. I'm not just like, I'm right 100% and there's nothing you can change my mind about. I'm always willing to have my mind changed. It's a shame. It's a shame, especially when it's people you care about as well, because it's like, it's precisely because I care about you. It's like my brother. Sometimes we argue over silly things, and it's like, okay, how do I go about this? Because I know I'm right, and I'm sure he thinks he's right too. So how do I go about this? And sometimes the truth alone isn't enough to convince people. It's like you need other virtues or other. Yeah, that's something I've learned as well. The power of rhetoric and language. That's why I've partly became interested in philosophy as well. It's not just the content of what you're saying, like the truth of X. It's sometimes X can be, it's sometimes the emotions, the words, the language, the tone, the character of the person as well. Sometimes, you're more willing to accept something if it's from a doctor than it is from someone else. Like, just these simple things. So it's a much more fundamental thing. And I've realized, how on earth do I handle people like that? On a political scale and on an individual level, I don't know. I just have to educate myself and be even more humble and learn to just learn, educate myself, be humble, be happy. It's a shame, like I say, and it doesn't fill me with pride saying this, because I get, But anyway, that's it. It's getting rainy. I'm pretty sure you can't see me. But yeah, much love. Take care. Peace.